Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to try and demystify artificial intelligence. We'll cut right through all that sci-fi hype to really get to the bottom of what AI is, how it got here, and, how it's already a huge part of your life in ways you might not even realize.
Okay, so to really get a handle on this, we've got to start with the big one, right? What is artificial intelligence? I mean, it's a term that's thrown around constantly, but what does it actually mean? The concept can feel, well, a little fuzzy.
And let's be real here. That big question usually leads to an even bigger, more personal one. You see all these headlines about machines that can write, create art, even think for themselves. And it's totally natural to wonder, so, where do I fit into all of this?
But here's the thing. The thinking behind this whole explainer points to something way more optimistic and, frankly, a lot more accurate. The goal here isn't replacement, it's augmentation. So think of AI less like a competitor and more like a superpowered tool, a tool designed to boost our own abilities. It can crunch through ridiculously complex data in a flash, which lets us be more precise, more effective, and yeah, even more creative. So when you boil it all down, AI is really the science of trying to simulate human intelligence. It's all about building systems that can learn, that can reason, and that can solve really tough problems in a way that, feels very human.
Now, an idea this big doesn't just pop up out of nowhere, right? It's got a pretty fascinating history. So let's take a quick trip back in time and see how it went from just a concept to the reality we're living in today.
And just look at how fast things picked up. I mean, it starts as this theoretical idea back in the 50s with Alan Turing. Then, in the 60s, you get these early expert systems. Fast forward to the 90s, and boom, IBM's Deep Blue is beating a chess grandmaster. And then, just a couple decades later, in the 2010s, AI is literally in our living rooms with Alexa and on our TVs when IBM's Watson just crushes it on Jeopardy. That jump from a lab idea to something in your house? Incredibly fast. So, that crazy fast evolution brings us right here to today. And I think you're going to be surprised by just how much AI is already a part of your daily routine, often working totally behind the scenes. No, I'm serious. It is everywhere. The moment you unlock your phone with your face, that's AI. The news articles that pop up in your feed, AI. Getting the fastest route on your map app, you guessed it, AI is the invisible engine making so much of our modern world just work. Just think about how wide-ranging this is for a second. That social media feed that seems to know exactly what you want to see, yep, that's AI. Those product recommendations that are just a little too perfect, AI again, predicting what you'll buy. But it's also the serious stuff. It's protecting your bank account by spotting fraud. It's helping doctors find diseases earlier. And it's even making our farms more productive. This is not science fiction. This is happening right now, today. So, how in the world does one technology do all of these different things? Well, the magic isn't really magic at all. It's actually a whole collection of really clever techniques. Let's pop the hood for a minute and take a peek at a couple of the main tools in the AI toolbox. Okay, so one of the first big ideas was something called an expert system. And the best way to think about it is like bottling up the brain of a human expert. You basically take everything an expert knows and their whole decision-making process, and you turn it into a set of rules that a computer can follow to solve really specific problems. And these systems have two main ways of thinking, if you will. The first is forward chaining. Here, you start with the known facts and work your way forward to a conclusion. Kind of like a doctor who sees your symptoms, the facts, and works toward a diagnosis. Then you've got backward chaining, which is the opposite. You start with a goal or a hypothesis and work backward to see if the facts support it. Think of a detective who has a suspect and is now looking for clues to prove their theory. See? Both are just very structured ways of getting to an answer. And then there are neural networks. And these are really cool because they're actually inspired by our own brains. So instead of feeding them a bunch of if this then that rules, you let them learn from data. You don't tell it the definition of a cat. You just show it thousands and thousands of pictures of cats, and it starts to figure out the patterns all by itself. This is the powerhouse tech behind things like facial recognition and even predicting the stock market. Okay, so let's recap. We've seen that AI is really about making us better, not replacing us. We've traced its incredible journey from a pure theory to a tool that is already changing our world every single day. So the big question is, where do we go from here? At the end of the day, AI is a tool, a profoundly powerful tool for tackling some of humanity's most complex, knowledge-intensive problems. We have built this incredible engine for understanding our world and solving puzzles. And that leaves us with the most important question of all.
As this technology gets even smarter, even more capable, what are the big problems we're going to choose to solve with it? Because the future isn't really about what AI can do, it's about what we as people decide it should do. Thanks for tuning in.